Hello, this is Josiah Winslow recording for his Client Server and E-commerce Implementations class for instructor Mark Cribb. Now, today we are working on Activity 5, where we add a new endpoint to our API and a new key to our database in a way and using a tool that we haven't seen before. So let's get right down to it. Most of this I was able to do without much difficulty. However, there was one thing that really got in my way, and that was the EF migration wasn't running correctly, and I'll show you what I mean. So, over here to the left, when you run the migration, it should create two new files over here, a .cs file and a .designer.cs file for creating the post table. So here I have the .cs file loaded, but none of this was here when I made the migration automatically. I could have sworn that last time I did one of these, it populated these up and down functions with the right methods to create and drop the post table that we made. But I had to add this all here myself. And there were a whole bunch of other, well, not a whole bunch, but like some other headaches that I had to deal with that actually made me late on this assignment. One of them was literally that this character right here, okay, well, first off, this whole key right here, connection strings, used to be in this app settings.json, and somehow I changed something that removed it or something, so I had to add it back. And then when I did add it back, that equals sign, I had typed in a colon there. So that was fun to debug. And there was one other thing that I had to do to get this to work with the current .NET version of the SDK. But that has to do more with the sort of Swagger endpoints page. And I'll show you what I mean. So cd API .NET watch run. So whenever you open up, whenever you run your project, it opens up a web page that acts as a sort of documentation page for your API endpoints. So it automatically had loaded a weather forecast endpoint, which is just random weather forecasts. And this is the new one I added, posts. And as you can see, it has the same sort of thing as the other one, where it shows you what parameters it takes, it gives you an example value, and it also lets you try it out. Same thing here. And what I had to do to get that working, the endpoint of posts does work, and it did work, but Swagger was yelling at me because I did not have a line like this above my actual function that returns the result for the endpoint. So I had to add HTTP GET in order to tell Swagger, hey, this is an endpoint and it's a GET endpoint, and you need to put that onto the page. And here's what happens if I remove it. So it's rebuilding again. And let's close that. It should open up in a few seconds now because it's running again. And then it should give me a big scary error message saying that it couldn't load something or another. You gonna start the page, or do I gotta do it myself? Yeah, okay. So once I load that page, it says failed to load API definition. And in order to get rid of that error, I had to add this line up here. So those are all the difficulties. And, there we go. Let's... Oh, hang on, I didn't save this. Okay, now it's rebuilding again. Now let's see. Yep, it's loading again. And this is where I tested out the posts endpoint. So I click try it out, execute. And looky here, I've got an array of all of my posts. Each with a unique identifier, title, body, and date. Although, there's one question that I had, which was, like, the date that was showing up here. It's January 1st of the year 1 and time 0. And that is because I did not actually, in my code, I did not actually give each post a date. But that is because in the code right here, in the docs file, Mike Hunziker doesn't give a date for any of the posts either. And yet, when I scroll down to where he shows off the endpoint working, where is it? There we go. He actually has dates. 2019 10/02, 2019 9/26. So I guess what I'm thinking is he took that screenshot and the other screenshots at different times and failed to include the version of the project with the date population into the screenshots for the code or something like that. But Mr. Crib, if you want to update this doc in the future, then you can go ahead and make the results from the code and the code itself consistent in the screenshots. That would save me a little bit of a headache. And yeah. So and by the way, once I also try to go to the endpoint like this directly, that also works. Gives me the array of posts. And that's all there was to it. So, with that, the assignment is done, and I'm sorry I got it to you late, Mr. Crib, but I hope you give me a good grade anyways. Take care.